This is chapter number 9, Constitution, a living document. We are taking question and answer on Constitution, living document. The first is choose the correct statement from the following. A constitution needs to be amended from time to time because the answer is changes are required and suitable changes are required always in the constitution. So we can say that circumstances change and require suitable changes in the constitution. Our constitution 26 January 1950 is the date where officially our constitution came into existence. Now from that time to now 2020, it's almost 70 plus years and many things have changed. That's why a constitution needs to be changed, amended depending upon the recent requirements, changing scenarios. Right, true or false against the following statements. So first is the president cannot send back an amendment bill for reconsideration of the parliament. This is absolutely correct. Elected representative alone have the power to amend the constitution. Only the Rajya Sabha, first let me write Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad, they are only entitled or they take part in amending the constitution, no other entity. The judiciary cannot initiate the process of constitutional amendment but can effectively change the constitution by interpreting it differently. This is correct. The parliament can amend any section of the constitution. No. Parliament means if we talk about Lok Sabha, it can only change some section. For other section, it needs the majority in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, special majority. And then in certain sections, they need along with this, the Vidhan Sabha, that is Vidhan Parishad also. We have 28 states. So at least 14 states have to agree with this. Then only there are certain constitutional part which can be amended. So the answer is true, false. Which of the following are involved in the amendment of the Indian Constitution? In what way are they? Let me tell you, the governor have no role. They have no role. And President of India also has no role, but because President of India is the final signing authority, that's why we will include them. So let us say one by one. Voters are not involved in the amendment of the constitution. They are not involved because they are representative of the people. You can say in a way, in a apratyaksha way, in an indirect way, they are changing the constitution, but it is not that. Voters are not involved. The MLAs, MPs are involved. Second is President of India. Now, President of India is involved in the amendment of Constitution because the amendment bill after ratification by the two houses of Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, it goes to the President for his approval. And he has no power to send this amendment back for reconsideration. No power. But because he is the final signing authority, his role is there. Maybe formally you can say he has role, informally he has no role. Formally you can say he has role. State legislature. Now there are some articles, state legislature are involved in some article of constitution, and this is related to the distribution of power between the center and state. And there are certain articles which are related to representation. So it becomes necessary for the central government or the parliament to consult with the state. As I said, 28 states are there, at least 14 plus states have to agree with this. In some of the amendments, half of the state have to ratify the particular amendment bill, only then it can be made a bill or it can be amended. Parliament is the basic doorstep, you can say, from where everything starts. Parliament involves it is truly involved in the amendment because some bills, article, they are amended just by simple majority in Lok Sabha. Some by special majority in both the houses of Parliament, that is, it involved Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, special majority. And later they are ratified if required by the at least half of the state. Governors, as I said, they have no role in the amendment of Constitution of India except those articles only which are ratified by the half of the state. Because governor is the signing authority. As I said, the President of India has no role, but he is the signing authority. Governor has also no role, but he is final signing authority, a formal signing authority. That is, he has a role, but formally he has role, informally they both have no role. Judiciary. Judiciary is not involved in the amendment of the Constitution. It has no role. Judiciary involves to specify the basic structure or take care of that. In any case, constitutional basic structure should not be changed. Only amendments are required. That is, if the legislature did something or they passed some constitutional amendment, they did, and if the judiciary sees this constitutional amendment as a breach, violation of the basic structure of constitution, now the judiciary role comes in. But amendment of the Indian Constitution, no, judiciary is not involved. You have read this chapter. In this, 42nd amendment was one of the most controversial amendments so far. Which of the following were the reasons for this controversy? In 1975, June 1975, Srimati Indira Gandhi, then Prime Minister of India, and Congress was ruling everywhere, even in the center and most of the states. So she declared emergency and it went up to 1977, that is 21-month emergency was there. Now at this time, there were certain amendments, 38 amendment, 39 amendment and 42nd amendment was done. And 42nd was the most controversial. Which of the following were the reasons for the controversy? First of all, the case, because it was emergency, most of the opposition leaders were behind the bars. So it was made during a national emergency that I just indicated, and the declaration of the emergency was itself controversial. So this is correct. It was made without the support of special majority. This you cannot say, because Congress was everywhere, center and state. Congress has all the majority, so this also goes wrong because it has made without ratification by the state legislature. This is also wrong because most of the states were ruled by Congress. It contained provisions which were controversial. This is very true. That is, A and D are true. So whatever I said is also given here. What was 42 amendment saying? First is, it was overriding the decision of the Supreme Court, which was already given in Keshavananda Bharti case. The duration of Lok Sabha was extended from 5 to 6 years, and it imposed restriction on the power of judicial review of court. Judiciary cannot review. It has also made changes to the preamble, 7th schedule and 53rd articles of the Constitution, and various MPs from opposition were in jail, as I just pointed out. Which of the following is not a reasonable explanation of the conflict between legislature and judiciary over different amendments? So the answer is, legislature cannot be entrusted to protect the right of citizen because issues of rights are involved by the Constitution under the right to constitutional remedies. Okay, the constitutional remedies, that means if your rights are being violated, you can, by using this one, you can always go to the court. मौलिक अधिकारों का अगर आपका हनन हो जाता है, you can also go to the court because you have right to constitutional remedies. And others are all, this D is, which is not reasonable. This one, this is the correct one, that is, it is not reasonable. All others are reasonable because, for example, I'll just take one of these. Different interpretation of the Constitution is possible. So judiciary has different interpretation. The Sansad or the Parliament has different idea of what is written. So there is always a possible conflict, you can say. Identify the correct statement about the theory of basic structure. Correct the incorrect statements. So Constitution specifies the basic tenets? No. It is not written anywhere in the Constitution what is the mool dhacha, what is the basic framework. It is not written. So it is incorrect. Constitution does not in any way specify the basic structure tenet. The basic structure has been evolved by the different decisions over the period of time by the Supreme Court. Now, legislature can amend all parts of the constitution except the basic structure. This is true. Correct. Judiciary has defined with which aspects of the constitution can be termed as the basic structure and which cannot. And this is correct because over the period of time, this is actually the avdharana or concept of judiciary only, basic theory of judiciary. This theory found its first expression in Keshavananda Bharati case and has been discussed in subsequent judgment, and this is also true. This theory has increased the powers of the judiciary and has come to be accepted by different political parties and the government. So it is a theory. It is a theory. See, every kid, we don't tell every kid to do a namaskar. People, there are certain kids who see, they observe, and then they do namaskar. They join their hand and say namaskar. So this is a concept which has been coming, and it has from 1950 to 2020 because of the various things which are happening. This has come into existence now. There is no basic structure being very well specified in the constitution, but everyone knows it now. From the information that many amendments were made during 2002 and 2003, which of the following conclusions would you draw? So before going to the answer, let me tell you what was happening here. From 2000 to 2003, almost 10 amendments were made, and these amendments were to change what happened earlier. So at this time, there was not a single government, there was a coalition government. Means Congress has lost, and now this is a time for a combined government, and that is why different political parties, they came together, and that is how these 10 amendments were done. So first is this one. There was a strong pressure from the public in favor of certain amendments. Public were asking this. Then there was no real difference among the parties during the time because there was a coalition government. Every party was there in the government, and the amendments were of non-controversial nature. The amendments were not very you cannot say that it will spark any controversy. And all the parties, because all the parties were in power, most of the parties which were the major parties, and they had all the agreement on the subject of the amendments. Explain the reason for requiring special majority for amending the constitution. So special majority is required. First of all, half the total strength of the house who are in the favor of the amendment bill. That is, I'll give an example. If we have 545 total strength of the Lok Sabha, at least 273 should vote in the favor. Even if 300 are present, 545 members are there, and 245 they are in their houses, 300 came to the parliament, then also 273 have to be in the samarthan. They have to vote in favor. 2/3 of those supporters who participate in voting, and this is also the thing, that the supporters who are there, they should be 2/3 of the participation. The people who are coming to vote, those supporters who participate in voting, whosoever comes to voting, say 300, then 2/3 of the supporters, 2/3 of take an example, 2/3 of the people who are voting should be supporters, right? That means at least 200 should be supporters in 300. Both the houses of parliament must pass the bill separately, that is in Lok Sabha also and in Rajya Sabha also, with this mathematics. Then we have these majorities, what they require to take some opposition parties into confidence due to majority. If a ruling party wants to do these things, it will not be possible. They have to take other parties, opposition parties also in confidence. And on the issues which are related with the distribution of power, these states are also taken into consultation. That is, the distribution of power, there are 28 states, as I said, at least 14 states should be in favor, or the government or the MLAs of these 14 states should be in the favor or support of this bill. Through wide consensus and limited participation of states, constitution can be amended. And to maintain partial flexibility and rigidity, consent of half of the state and simple majority of the state legislature is sufficient. Many amendments to the Constitution of India have been made due to different interpretation upheld by the judiciary and the parliament. Explained with examples. So let us take one by one. The First Amendment Act 1951, this made changes in the Constitution due to some flaws in the working of Constitution, and those were to be changed or remedied. Under Article 19, right to freedom of speech and expression was held by some courts to be very comprehensive, not to take any action against any individual. And many laws made on abolition of the zamindari system, and it declared ultra vires by the courts. Therefore, the constitution was amended. In the case of Keshavanand Bharati case, Parliament's power to amend the constitution was checked and limited, thereby instructing not to violate the basic structure of the constitution, as well as Parliament can amend if clashes arise between the judiciary and the government. In 1971, 24th Amendment Parliament got the power to amend the constitution, including the fundamental rights. 42nd Amendment in 1976, this was the most controversial, as amendment was made in the background of internal emergency Apatkal, as well as impose some restriction on the power of judicial review of the court. Then 44th Amendment cancelled most of the changes which were affected by the then 38, 39 and 42nd Amendments, that is changes in preamble it was done and other 53 articles. And sometimes judicial interpretation also changed the understanding of the constitution, that is the Supreme Court has held the reservation in jobs and education institution must not exceed, for example, 100 seats are there, the reservation cannot go up beyond 50% or 50 of the seat. It must not exceed 50% of the total seats. If amending power is with the elected representative, judiciary should not have the power to decide the validity of the amendment. Do you agree? Do you agree? You have to write the answer or reason in 100 words. So you can say that I don't agree. Why? Because during the period of 1970-80, the amendments what made, these created a legal and political controversy. When the judiciary came interfering, then judiciary to tackle them. During the period 1970 and 1976, during the reign of Srimati Indira Gandhi, the ruling party attempted to subvert the constitution by 42nd Amendment. Again, judiciary intervened and protected the basic structure of the constitution. So, judiciary played a role in these cases. A constitutional legal issues raises the question on the supremacy of the parliament. But the constitution has given the power to every organ of the government, because in a democracy, we have three organs of the government, right? We have the legislature, we have the Karyapalika, that is the executive, and then we have judiciary. So, judiciary also has equal role. Therefore, judiciary enjoys the power to decide the validity of the amendments. Now, what is the objective of Constitution of India as embodied in the preamble? The first is justice, that is social, political and economic justice for everyone, and liberty of thoughts, that is expression, belief, faith and worship. Equality, samanta, of status and opportunity, and fraternity, assuring the dignity of the citizens and the unity of nation. In which countries people initiate amendments to the constitution? Russia, Switzerland, Italy, these are few countries where people are involved in the constitutional modification, changes and amendments. In which year the 42nd Amendment took place? In 1976 it did. How many times the former Soviet Union had formal new constitutions? Four constitutions in 74 years. 1918, 1924, 1936, 1977. How the basic structure of the Constitution of India has been maintained till date? So the constitution makers were very far-sighted, Doordarshi, who provided many solutions for future situations. And the provisions of amendments, that is changes, were also made to changing needs of the society, because they know that things will change in future. And according to this, according to the people aspirations and the changing scenario, the constitution needs some amendments or changes. What was the Constitution of India? When was the Constitution of India adopted? On 26 November 1949. And when did the Constitution of India come into force? That is when it was implemented, 26 January 1950. By which amendment the age of retirement of High Court judges increased from 60 to 62 years? 15th Amendment. Which amendment increased the salaries of judge of High Court and Supreme Court? 55th Amendment. Which amendments are known as anti-defection amendments? Dal Badal Kanun, 52nd and 91st Amendments. And there are certain other things also. Who enjoys the power to amend the Constitution and how? Parliament of India, that is the Sansad. Parliament of India under Article 368 enjoys the power to amend the Constitution by way of addition, variation or repeal any provision by the procedure which are laid down in Article 368. By simple majority, there are three ways. First, just simple majority in Parliament, that is only Lok Sabha. And the special majority, that is Parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, simple majority. And special majority now, second one, special majority in both the houses of Parliament, that is Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. And third is by special majority legislatures of half the state, that is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and also half of the states by, this is not special majority. It is simple majority. Simple majority. Mention the constitutional development in France. So France is getting continuously constitutional changes after the revolution and then the Napoleon period. So the first French Republic took place in 1793. Second Republic commenced in 1848, the new constitution, and third time it commenced in 1875 and again in 1946. Fifth Republic took place in 1958 again. What does the ratification by states stand for? Amendments in Constitution. So if any amendment aims to modify federal structure or fundamental rights or representation of states in Parliament, this amendment bill is necessary to be passed by at least half of the state legislatures. So we have 28 states, at least 14 are needed to ensure a wider consensus because it affects the states directly. What does the rigid as well as flexible constitution stand for? Kathor evam lachila. The constitution is a living document which must be amended if required as per needs and aspiration of the people, as well as must be protected from any unnecessary and frequent changes. Duryupayog se bachana hai. Why is the 42nd amendment called the mini constitution? This was a very big kind of amendment, and it was done on the backdrop when it was emergency declared in the country. So it attempted to override the ruling of Supreme Court in the case of Keshwanand Bharti case, and this imposed some restriction on the power of courts, that is the judiciary, to do judicial review. Lok Sabha tenure was extended from 5 years to 6 years, 5 to 6, and this made changes to the preambles also, 7th schedule of Constitution and various 53 other articles. Mention any two factors which make the Constitution of India a living document, Jivant Dastavez. The required modification can be made as per the changing needs and aspirations of the society, and this is flexible also to be interpreted and implemented. Next is the Constitution of India maintains unity and integrity of the country. Justify the statement. First of all, India had been declared a secular state, Dharmanishpeksha Rajya, provision of single citizenship. We have different provinces, states, but still everyone is an Indian. One constitution for everyone, and there are various languages, 22 languages that are recognized by the Constitution of India. Now there are certain short type questions. What do you mean by political and economic justice? So political justice means it provides that all citizens should enjoy the equal political rights without any discrimination, as well as they should be free to participate in the government also. Economic justice means it provides maximum welfare to the people by reducing the gaps difference between the extremely rich and extremely poor so that everybody could earn livelihood by equal opportunities of employment. What are the technical amendments? Explain with the examples. So technical amendments are just bhashai change, just change, very minute changes. They are only clarifications, explanations, modifications in the provision of the constitution, which make no substantial change or modification to the provision. For example, the 15th amendment increased the age of the High Court judges from 60 to 62. So this is just a very minute change. Increasing the salary of High Court judge and Supreme Court judge by the 55th amendment, and provision for reservation of seat for SC and ST legislature also, an amendment of Article 74(1), that is, the President has to bind Badhyakari on the advice of the Council of Ministers, and this was already there, it was being practiced. How has the Keshavanand Bharati ruling contributed to the evolution of the constitution? So in 1973, Keshavanand Bharati case ruling contributed to maintain the basic structure, Mool Dhacha, of the constitution. It limited the power of the parliament, that the basic structure could not be violated. Whatever government does, the basic structure should not be violated. It allows parliament to amend any and all parts of the constitution, but with limitations only. There has to be a limit on that. It places the judiciary as final decision maker. If any amendment done by legislature violates the basic structure and its constituents, judiciary will be the final decisive authority. Now we have certain passage based questions. For some articles of the constitution, special majority is not sufficient. When an amendment aims to modify an article related to distribution of powers between states and central government, or articles related to the representation, it is necessary that the states must be consulted and they give their consent. We have studied the federal nature of the constitution. Federalism means that powers of the states must be at the mercy of the central government. The constitution has ensured that this by providing that legislature of half of the state have to be passed the amendment bill before the amendment comes into the effect. Apart from the provisions related to the federal structure, provisions about fundamental rights are also protected in this way. We can say that for some parts of the constitution, greater or wider consensus in the polity is expected. These provisions also represent the states and give them the participation in the process of amendment. At the same time, care is taken to keep the procedure somewhat flexible even in its more rigid format. Consent of only half the state is required and simple majority in the state legislature is sufficient. Therefore, the amendment process is not impracticable even after taking into consideration this more stringent condition. So what is federalism? Federalism means the power of the state must not be at the mercy of central government. It should also, the state also enjoy the, at most autonomy. The state cannot be separated from the country, but it should be in the country with proper autonomy because of its culture, heritage and bhasha. When the consent of states is necessary in parliament, if any amendment related to the distribution of powers between the center and the state and the articles related to the representation, then the consent of or the support of states is necessary in parliament. What is the provision for this amendment? Consent of half of the state. If there are say 28 states, 14 states needs to have simple majority support. Simple majority of the state legislature is required. A number of amendments are product of different interpretation of the constitution given by the judiciary and the government of the day. When these clash, the parliament has to insert an amendment underlining one particular interpretation as the authentic one. It is a part of the democratic politics that various institutions would interpret the constitution and particularly the scope of their own powers in a different manner. Many times the parliament did not agree with the judicial interpretation, therefore sought to amend the constitution to overcome the ruling of the judiciary. In the period between 1970 and 1975, these situations arose frequently. What are the amendments? So amendments are the products of different interpretation and constitution of the constitution because the judiciary and government they may think of the same way in a different manner. So that is how the amendments are taken place. What can be done if any clash arises between the judiciary and the government on amendments? In case of clash, Parliament had to insert amendment underlining one particular interpretation as authentic one. So if the government sees some interpretation what they are thinking is correct, they will simply amend the constitution. Did this situation arise practically and when? Yes, this situation really arose in the period between 1970 and 1975. They are long answer type questions now. The Constitution of India is a living document. Explain. So the Constitution of India is a living document. It can be enumerated in these terms. It has continuously been responding to various circumstances from time to time. That is, it is changing from time to time. Our Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950. Since then, the government is supposed to work within its framework. We have 104 amendment till date. The Constitution makers made the best efforts to accommodate the various changes as per needs and aspirations of the society. And it is open to the interpretations and ability to respond to changing situations. It protects the rule of law in favor of democratic setup. The Constitution responds to various experiences also. And though various changes have taken place, still the Constitution works in an effective manner. Mention the different methods to amend the Constitution. So first is by simple majority, that is the amendment can take place just by resolution passed by simple majority in both the houses of the parliament. It creates the most flexible features of the Constitution, sabse lachila. It can be amended, passed by simple majority of members present in and voting in both the houses. Its examples are changing the boundaries of the state, creation of new states, fixing the number of judges in the Supreme Court. This can be easily done by simple majority in the parliament. Now, by 2/3 majority in both the houses of the parliament. A resolution should be passed by 2/3 of the member present and voting in both the houses of the parliament. Amendment resolution can be moved in any house, and if passed by majority of total membership and 2/3 majority of members present and voting, it is sent to the other house. If the same procedure takes place in other house also, the bill is passed. And many times Rajya Sabha has rejected the amendment bills which are passed by Lok Sabha. For example, the bill on panchayats and nagarpalikas. Then the final one, that is the hardest one, kathortam. The 2/3 majority in both the houses of parliament and approval of half of the state legislature. So amendment should be passed by both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, with majority of total member strength and 2/3 majority of those present and voting. And the resolution should be ratified by at least half of the state legislature, at least half. So these were the question and answer of this topic. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.